Hey everybody, what's going on? Brother John here, third proverb, and I'm telling you, I am a little ticked off, to tell you the truth, okay? I want to know what the hell is our government doing? In a, I'm going to share some stuff. Book came out by Senator Tom Coburn entitled Waste Book 2010. And my hat's off to Senator Tom Coburn, who is reporting here some of the ridiculous spending that you and I, the taxpayer, are putting our dollars towards, okay? And the thing that ticks me off, all this money being wasted on ridiculous items, and yet the first responders, people who sacrifice their life to go help out in 9/11 in the cleanup, and they dare not pass $6.2 billion bill. It was. They just reduced it. The last one got blocked. It was a little over $7 billion. They found some cuts at 6.2, and still might be a problem for the people who responded to 9/11. And then you got some people who want to say, well, it's New York's problem. It happened in New York. No, man, this is an American problem. No matter who you think was the cause of 9/11, okay? Firemen, policemen, citizens, volunteers went down there to help clean up that mess, help find bodies, risked life and limb, okay? And having serious health problems. I actually know a person, he was a police officer, and he wound up suffering from respiratory problems. He just died a couple years ago. Man in his 40s with a couple kids. Married and 2 children. Because of the poison that he breathed in at 9/11 site. Okay, so these are people who need the help. But meanwhile, what I'm going to share with you here are the 20 craziest things that the U.S. government is spending money on. Number 1. A total of $3 million has been granted to researchers at the University of California at Irvine so they could play video games such as World of Warcraft. The goal of this video game research is reportedly to study how emerging forms of communication, including multiplayer computer games and online virtual worlds such as WoW and Second Life, can help organizations collaborate and compete more effectively in the global marketplace. $3 million for people to play video games. Number 2, the U.S. Department of Agriculture gave the University of New Hampshire $700,000 this year to study, guess what? Methane gas emissions from dairy cows. Yes, $700,000 to study cow farts. Number 3, $615,000 was given to the University of California at Santa Cruz to digitize photos, t-shirts, and concert tickets belonging to the Grateful Dead. Belonging to the Grateful Dead. I don't think the Grateful Dead's the only people smoking some stuff, okay? A professor at Stanford University received $239,100 to study how Americans use the internet to find love. So far, one of the key findings of this research is that the internet is a safer and more discreet way to find same-sex partners. Well, that might be so, but you know what? We got no business spending $239,000 on how to find love. Okay? The National Science Foundation spent $216,000 to study whether or not politicians gain or lose support by taking ambiguous positions. Unbelievable. You know, if they would just look inside, you you might find, use some common sense. I don't think you need $216,000 to know whether or not to do the right thing, to govern properly. Don't we pay them salaries? They're supposed to know this stuff. It's not like I'm going to go pay my doctor so he can go study up on what vitamin C does. Come on. Anyway, The National Institutes of Health spent approximately, get this, this was funny. The National Institute of Health spent $442,340 to study the behavior of, get this, male prostitutes. Not in the U.S., in Vietnam. Okay. Bad enough. Even if it was in the U.S., I mean, it's just bad enough that they're spending money to study the behavior of male prostitutes. Okay. Man. Human Sexuality 101? I don't know. Number 7, approximately $1 million of U.S. taxpayer money was used to create poetry for the Little Rock, New Orleans, Milwaukee, and Chicago zoos. The goal of the poetry is to help raise awareness on environmental issues. Okay, you don't have a fucking internet and cable TV and library? Newspaper? Okay, the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs spent $175 million during 2010 to maintain hundreds of buildings that it does not even use. This includes a pink, octagonal monkey house, that's right, in the city of Dayton, Ohio. $175 million, hundreds of buildings, not even being used. Number 9, $1.8 million of U.S. taxpayer dollars went for a museum of, get this, neon signs in Las Vegas. Wow. Okay, if you wanted a museum, hey, those casinos making lots of money, well, $100,000 each, easily would be no problem for them if they wanted a fucking museum. Sorry for my language, but this is starting to really piss me off the more and more I read. Number 10, $35 million was reportedly paid out by Medicare to 118 phantom medicinal clinics that do not even exist. Apparently, these phantom medical clinics were established by a network of criminal gangs as a way to defraud the U.S. government. Okay. Number 11, the Conservation Commission of Moncton, M-O-N-K-T-O-A, Moncton, Vermont, got $150,000 from the federal government to construct a critter crossing. Yes, critters crossing. Thanks to U.S. government money, the lives of thousands of migrating salamanders are now being saved. Right. Oh, God. Number 12, in California, one park received $440,000 in federal funds to perform green energy upgrades on a building that has not been used for a decade. And we wonder, California's wondering why they're going broke. Besides the immigration problem. $440,955 was spent this past year on an office for former Speaker of the House, Dennis Hastert, that he rarely even visits. Number 14, one Tennessee library was given $5,000 in federal funds to host a series of video game parties. Tennessee Library. Number 15, the U.S. Census Bureau spent $2.5 million on a television commercial during the Super Bowl that was so poorly produced that virtually nobody understood what it was trying to say. Sorry, I don't have a clip of that commercial. I should, though. But I saw this, I want to throw this out here. Number 16, a professor at Dartmouth University received $137,530 to create a recession-themed video game entitled Layoff. God. Oh. Number 17, here we go. The National Science Foundation gave the Minnesota Zoo over $600,000 so they can develop an online video game called Wolf Quest. As if we don't have enough video games. A pizzeria in Iowa was given $60,000 to renovate the pizzeria's facade and give it a more inviting feel. The U.S. Department of Agriculture gave one enterprising group of farmers $30,000 to develop a tourist-friendly database of farms that host guests for overnight haycations. Not vacations, but haycations. This one sounds like something that Dwight Schrute would have dreamed of. Whatever that means, I don't know who Dwight Schrute is. But $30,000 to develop a database of farms. Okay, number 20, and here it is. Almost unbelievably, the National Institutes of Health was given $800,000 in stimulus funds. Stimulus funds to study the impact of a genital washing program on men. Again, not in the U.S., but in South Africa. Yes. Okay. Should combine that with the other study on the behaviors of male prostitute. You know, I don't know. Maybe they could just wash their genitals at the same time. I don't know. After they're done in Vietnam, send them to South Africa for a genital washing. Oh, man. So here, that is the top 20 wasteful, not the top 20, but 20 of the most ridiculous waste spending programs from our Congress. And according to the most recent Gallup poll, 13%, only 13% of Americans approve of the job that Congress is doing right now. 13. I don't think it's ever been that low. So, hey, I urge you, write your senators, write your congressmen, your representatives. I'm going to leave a link to this list. And any more information, perhaps you'd like to send them a link. And not to give money for those risking their lives for 9/11 is, to me, it's disgusting. Really is disgusting that the money where it needs to be spent is not being spent, and we're spending it on crap like this. And they just want to keep raising taxes to pay for this crap. This is bullshit. Enough is enough, man. Enough is enough. Republicans, Democrat, I don't give a shit. Enough is enough. I'm out. I need a cigarette.